Dunsop Bridge is one of two villages that claim to be the centre of Britain. The others Haltwhistle, somewhat surprisingly 71 miles to the north. The Ordnance Survey, responsible for granting Dunsop Bridge this unique position, based its calculations on what's known as the gravitational method. Dunsop Bridge being the place where the rope would be threaded if Britain was somehow sliced from the seabed and suspended like a conker. We couldn't help wondering whether all those mountains in Wales would make it a bit lopsided. Whatever the case, back in 1992, Sir Ranulph Fiennes, the adventurer, explorer and all-round master of the daring do, unveiled a plaque at Dunsop Bridge in the telephone box. It read, "You are calling from the BT payphone that marks the centre of Great Britain." British Telecom were wrong about that. And still are. The actual gravitational centre, because we're feeling pedantic, is approximately 4.5 miles further north, in an insignificant patch of scrub near the Whitendale Hanging Rocks. These rocks take their names from their overhanging tops, and not, unfortunately, for fans of Forteana such as us, from any horrible lynchings that ever took place there. Not only is this the centre of Great Britain, and therefore by default the centre of the known universe, it's also the middle of Middle-earth. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote the first part of The Lord of the Rings at nearby Stonyhurst College, but we're wandering from the point. Let's get back to Dunsop Bridge, a village so insignificant that most people pass through it before they realise it's there. Its an accurate name is Dunsop Bridge because the bridge is its only feature. There are a couple of cottages before we receive letters of complaint, and the post office that doubles up as Puddleduck's Cafe, and the tiny Pugin-designed church dedicated to St Hubert, built on the winnings of a racehorse called Kettledrum. Hubert was the patron saint of hunters, Bowland having once been a royal chase. He converted to Christianity one Good Friday at some indeterminate point during the 6th century, after witnessing a vision of the cross between a stag's antlers and hearing a voice telling him to buck up his ideas. Apologies for that, no pun intended. Whether he killed the stag afterwards, history does not record. Being the centre of the known universe isn't Dunsop Bridge's only record of note. On August 8th, 1967, the whole Dunsop Valley experienced the highest rainfall over a 90-minute period anywhere in Britain, ever. A staggering 117 millimetres. Which is all very fascinating, but what of the village itself? Well, according to one visitor's account unearthed from the internet, Dunsop is owned by the Duchy of Lancaster, and everyone pays rent to the Queen. The village green is idyllic and hosts a colony of ducks grown obese on packed lunch leftovers. What this particular visitor failed to mention was just how dangerous a place Dunsop Bridge is to live, especially when there are owls about. Back in 2007, news of 3 vicious birds reached the Daily Telegraph, who reported that the police had been forced to close a section of public footpath for fear of dog walkers' safety, following a number of attacks. One victim was even hospitalised. We realise that this story smacks of hyperbole, but it's worth noting that the eagle owls in question grow up to 2 feet in height with a wingspan of 6 feet. Perhaps it were eagle owls what done for dead ship down back to river t'other day, one heavily accented colleague of ours suggested after we told him about them. We're more inclined to think it was the Beast of Bowland what done for dead ship ourselves. This mythical creature is regularly seen haunting the lanes around Dunsop Bridge. Although, unfortunately, it's nowhere near as terrifying as the Beast of Craggy Island, with its 4 ears, retractable leg, no mouth, and 4 arses. In fact, judging from the descriptions by various witnesses, the Beast of Bowland is just a large cat, most likely a Canadian lynx. It's been spotted a number of times, however, and not just by local drunks being spooked by overfed household tabbies. The Centre for Fortean Zoology, believe it or not, there is one, claim that several big cats were released at Longridge in the 1970s. They could well still be out there, roaming the moors, breeding like, well, wildcats. All of which means that Dunsop Bridge is starting to sound like the spaghetti junction of the Fortean world. Lancashire's equivalent of a Dartmoor quarry on Doctor Who. All we're missing is a UFO, or rather, all we're not missing is a UFO because, predictably, our researchers have turned one up. We're not entirely sure when it happened exactly, just recently, as the online article informed us. But at some point over the last few decades anyhow, a 25-year-old accountant from the Halifax Building Society, who like to get their adverts in early, it seems, was hiking through Dunsop Bridge, unaware of the killer owls no doubt, when he noticed two objects chasing each other across the sky. The object, sick, first appeared to be circular, double sick, then spherical, then triangular, before triple sick, becoming diamond-shaped, the hiker explained in his written report, proving, if nothing else, that he didn't have his spell checker on him at the time. The objects flew across the sky, dodging each other, beforing, quadruple sick, disappearing, sick again. When they reappeared, they begun to lower on a hill, sick and tired, before disappearing, sick to the high teeth, once again. Perplexed, the accountant returned to the car park, where he discovered that his mobile phone was broken and his watch had stopped. At least, that was what he told the doctors in ER that evening when he went to get the cucumber surgically removed. No, apologies for that. The last sentence was made up, obviously. Our lawyers have asked us to point out. However, the rest of our grammatically challenged accountant's account is absolutely genuine, we're sure. That about wraps it up for Dunsop Bridge. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel for free sweets, and join us again next week for another episode of Lancashire Footnotes.